Cheers, it's Rick. How you doing? It's Thursday. I mixed, whoops, burnt umber and yellow ochre together in equal parts. I'm using all Winsor and Newton acrylics. These are pretty cheap. Uh, and I'm using red, blue, and yellow again. But I did use burnt umber and yellow ochre to get this undertone on the canvas. And that's really easy. You just mix burnt umber and yellow ochre, even parts. I kind of made too much, but I have another canvas ready for tomorrow. And then you just wet your brush and put a thin coat on there. Really thin, like watered down. And then I take a paper towel before it dries and I kind of dab it, wipe in some places and get this texture in there. But what I think I'm going to do something where the foreground's nice and close with some big trees, but I kind of see a mountain here with another mountain here, but on either side, but I want to lower that down. So I think I don't want to have too much to work with down here. So what I'm seeing is like a mountain back here. And then I'm seeing like a taller mountain coming down in front. And then the same thing over here. And then I'll have, I want to have some tall trees going off into the sky here. Maybe I shouldn't have put those peaks so close to the edge. But that, what I'm going to do, since I just have blue, this is pretty sure it was cobalt blue. And I got yellow and red, okay? Black and white. And I'm using water in a jug to keep my brushes wet. I'll just mix on the palette so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this mountain light back there, so let's take a little black here and a little white. And we'll make like a gray, a light gray color. And let's just block that mountain in that's way in the back there. Let's just block it in right off the bat. It's probably going to stay this color, so a light gray. I'm kind of rushing. You could take your time and make sure you get it filled in nice and even. But I'm trying to speed through this so the video is not so long. So there's our, it's okay to sketch your mountain so you know where the sky is and where your landscape's going to be. I'm going to make these mountains a little darker now. So I'm just going to add some more black to that. And let's get the peaks done first. And then we'll pull that color down. It's okay to wet your brush a little to get the edge of the mountain nice and even, okay? Because we're going to put more color on top of this mountain. These in front here. This one's going to run down maybe in front here like this. So what I'm doing, I'm just blocking in the color right now. This is going to be the under paint for the mountains. It's almost black. It's like a dark gray. You can lighten it up a little more if you want. It doesn't have to be that dark. That's just happens to be the way I mixed it, okay? And we'll bring it down. We'll kind of turn this mountain a little here at the bottom, and maybe turn this one a little at the bottom. There we go. All right, so we got the mountains laid in. That's pretty good. I like that. So boo-doo-boo. Oh, now it's time to mix some. Now we got to either decide if we want grass down here or dirt. I like to always bring some kind of trail. We could put a trail in there. Let's put that trail a little straighter here. Like that. So it doesn't look so... Yeah, we'll put a trail in. Since I'm putting an S shape in there for a trail. I guess I'll do the sky next. Let's do the sky. I'm going to grab a bigger brush. And I've got cobalt blue here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some blue here and mix a little white in there. Lighten it up just a bit. Today I'm going to have to turn the canvas a little. I'll adjust the camera. I like doing these lives because they upload right away, and I don't have to try and edit them or anything. Put a blue sky up in here. I just want to have a hint of blue like in the middle here. Now what I'm going to do is rinse my brush off. Let me get some paper towels to hold in my hand. What I'm going to do on the sky now is put white all around this blue. So just rinse your brush off and kind of wipe it off. And let's grab some white. And let's bring that white from the sides in towards the blue. You can let it pick up some of the blue so we get some different colors out here. We'll just fill this in with white. The rest of the whatever's left. There's so many different ways to do the sky. Just keep bringing the white in towards the blue. Try not to make the blue end up too small in there. You can get some of that blue out here in the white. You can wet your brush just a little. You don't need to wet it too much for this part because we want the white to be kind of heavy in here. We want the white to be pretty strong, not watered down. Now you're going to have to be careful around the mountain here. Don't hit your mountains. You might want to get a smaller brush. I'm just blending the edges of the white that are in the blue very lightly. All right. So that's the sky so far. There's going to be more. I'm going to do more to it in a little bit. But first I want to run some trees up in there. This is just one way to get your landscape started. It's kind of cool. I like the way that sky looks already. I'll get closer to the mountains in a little bit. I'm trying to decide what color I want down here. So I guess since I have a bunch of yellow ochre and burnt umber left over, I'm going to use that yellow ochre and burnt umber and maybe add a little yellow to it to lighten it up a bit. And let's see what that looks like underneath the mountains here, up to the trail. Just put the color in. Under the mountains, just blocking in color right now. I think I'm gonna make all this green grass down here. So now we got to make some grass. Let's try rinse your brush off. You can use your knife if you want to mix, but I'm gonna mix it with my brush so it goes quicker. Now there's a lot of different ways to make green. You can start with yellow here and then just grab a little blue, and then let's see what kind of green we get here. If it's too dark, we could take a little bit of this light blue, lighten it up a little bit, or you can add more yellow to it. I think that's good enough. Let's put some grass down here now. Just block in the rest of the painting with this green, okay? And you can wet your brush because we're going to put bushes on top of this. It doesn't have to be a thick layer of green. Just let's just get the color in there. You can add a little more yellow if you want for over here. You can make this side lighter. All right. There we go. That looks cool. I think I want this to be flat, but I want to put some hills in here So what I'm going to do is kind of maybe put a few hills like that down here. So grab a little bit of titanium white on the tip of your brush, and let's make some hills in here by just using white on the top of the hill there, and then blend it in just at the top of the hill. So it looks like we got boom, 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 some hills there. All right, good enough. Let's do the mountains now so we can finish our groundwork down here. I'll tie it all in together once we put our snow up there on the mountains. I'm going to use white, titanium white. So I'm going to put a little white over here and kind of flatten it out. And then start with a little bit of roll on your knife. Let's do this big peak first here. I'm going to start on the right side and try and follow the ridge pretty much all the way down. Start with just a little bit of paint on there, just a little bit, because I want it to break a lot. So we just have a lot of snow maybe on the peak. We got another peak over here. We could bring that one down just a little. I'm going to make this one come down a little more and a little more. I'm going to run a hill down here. All right, let's do this other side here. We're going to put the snow on the right side of these peaks. Just going to hit this one here because I think I'm going to put this one in front. No, maybe I'll have this small one in front now. We'll tuck this large one behind. It looks like it'll work that way. And I'll run some hills coming like this way. There we go. All right, let's mix a little bit of white and blue. Mix a little white and blue and get a light bluish color. We want it lighter than the sky. That might be too dark. There we go. This is a light blue. This is going to be for the shady side of the mountain here. I'm going to have to use the small side of the knife here. What happened here? I'm just trying to hit just left of my snow. Pulling this shade color. You don't have to put blue on if you don't want. I mean, it looks good both ways, but I like to put this blue in here. It adds a little more to the mountain. You could pretty much basically put this blue wherever you don't have white. Okay. If you think of it that way, that's why I put the white up first, and then this shadow color you just put right next to the white. Even down here where, see how it's running straight down here? Pull a little bluish color down here. It'll create like a shelf there or something. I'm kind of rushing, so take your time when you do your mountain. Try not to cover up any of your white. If you make your mountains bigger, you can use the large side of the knife, okay? Then you can fit it in here easier and pull more paint like that, see? I kind of made those peaks a little small. All right, I like that. That looks cool. Those mountains are pretty cool. So I'm going to be running trees over the top of them. So that's why I didn't want to spend too much time on them. They'll look good. All right, let's mix some green color for our trees. I want to make it dark, so I have a bunch of blue here. Let's take a little bit of yellow. We got to turn this to green, so I'm not sure what color green it's going to turn, but I'm going to darken it up with black, so cool looking green. Every blue is going to be different when you make your green, depending what blue you use and how much yellow you put in. So it's endless, the amount of different greens you can get. But I want it to be dark, so that's pretty dark. I'm going to actually darken it up a little more so I can make some evergreen trees. There we go. Nice, rich, dark green color. We can highlight it with yellow or white, and then it'll turn green. All right, there we got plenty of paint there. Now I got to find a nice oil fan brush. I use a number 6. This is an oil fan brush. I want to run some pretty tall trees up in here. That's why I was saying I shouldn't have put the peak so close here unless I run a tree in between. Maybe here, the tall trees are going to end up being in the middle, which I didn't really want that. But it is what it is. I'm just showing you how to do it. Let's put some small trees out here since that's the way it's going to end up. I'm going to put a few bushes on this side of the trail right here. Just put in some bushes there and pull the bottom to the right. And we're going to put a few trees here. Right into the bottom of the mountain. Make them skinny up here so it doesn't cover the mountain too much. This is the fun part, adding all these trees in now. I'm just putting my brush in. Sometimes you got to wiggle your brush to get the shape back on it. All right, well, we got 4 trees over there. Let's put some bushes right in here on this side of the trail, coming down. And pull the bottom to the left. Just got to pull it a little to the left. Cool. Let's put a tree right up here. Let's do another one. You can see I'm going fast. It'll still look good. Just got to make indications of trees there. I'm pretty much pressing straight on the trunk coming down. All right, that's looking good. So yeah, we're going to have to put some bushes here running down at an angle and pull a little bit out to the left, just a little. It'll help create some kind of shadow down there. Wet your brush a little bit on this one. We're going to go straight up into the blue here, okay? It's going to be a big tree. This is going to be right in the foreground, so I'm going to come down pretty quick with my branches and try and stay skinny. Reload it halfway through. I'm going to have to reload again. Try not to hit those other trees. You get wider at the bottom. And then I'm going to adjust it now. like to fill in this middle part right in here with more branches. Just like that. Look at that. That's a big tree. I really like it though. Let's make them a little wider here, just a bit in some places. Not too much. There we go. That looks better. Okay, good. Doesn't that look cool? Covered the whole painting there. It's going to look good when I highlight it. So let's put a smaller one here now. We'll run some bushes out on this side of the trail and pull that to the left underneath the bushes. The trail is going to come right through here, and around. All right, wet your brush just a little with water because we're gonna run another tall tree right here. Not as big as that one, not as tall. But I want another tall tree in there, up into the sky. Stay skinny if you can. Come down and look at it, and then you can adjust your branches. I kind of like this one, so I'm just going to fill in this little section in here and maybe the bottom. I kind of like it the way it is. There we go. That's it. Let me get a smaller fan brush. I'm going to put a point up here. Very good. I like it. Let me give that a second to dry. And guess what? We're going to highlight these two trees here in the front so they stand out. We're going to give the tree dimension. See how it just, you can't even see where the branches are, really? Because we just got the dark color down. It's almost dry already. I like, that's what I like about acrylic paint. It dries pretty quick. I like the contrast of everything. The trees over the mountains over the sky. We got a mountain way back there in the distance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the dark color, a little bit of the dark color here, and we're going to add a little bit of, you could either add light blue to it. Let's add the light blue to it. The blue that we used on the side of the mountain. Let's add that in there. And we're going to use this to highlight the tree. We're going to use the fan brush, pretty much the same fan brush you used to make your tree. But now I'm going to come down. Our light's coming from the right, so we just want to highlight. It's still wet up there. I'm going to start about here. Take your time and just touch the brush. Just touch the brush on top of each branch. Just barely touch it, okay? Try and pick out the top parts of the branches. And then we'll fill in the middle here in a second. All these branches that are long, just touch the top part of it to, that's where the light's hitting. We'll leave the bottom dark. Now let's run a little bit right in the middle. Just touch really small taps in the middle here. So it looks like more branches. Okay. And we'll bring it around just a little more down here. We'll have this one side in the shade. All right, let's do that other one. You can do it because this is a big tree, so you can pick out the top parts of the branches, okay? And don't smear it. You gotta like touch it and go to the next branch. Just touch it and go to the next branch. Very light touches. If you just do the right side, you're gonna you'll get it to look like it has dimension, okay? And we're gonna even get a little more lighter and run it down the middle now. Grab a little bit of white over here and add it to that color. A little bit of white. Now what we're gonna do on this one is come down with a few more touches here and there with the lighter color, but more in the center, okay? It doesn't, you don't have to have a lot of them, just a few spots to make it look like the light's hitting right in the center there. Don't overdo it. Just a few indications. And you don't have to do this part if you don't want. If your tree looks good, leave it. All right. But you can see here, see how it adds a little more light in there. You could even come around a little more if you want. But make sure you just touch it. Don't smear it, okay? I got some small bushes down here. These are easy to highlight when they're small. Just hit the top part of your bush like this, and then move over to the next one, and then move over to the next one, and then finally the last one. Then you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 bushes down there, okay? It's the same principle, just lightly touch it, okay? Leave the bottom dark. If you want to make these different colors, a good color is the yellow ochre for highlighting bushes. Barely tap it. Like you're just touching it, just like the tree, okay? Just like that. Let's put a little white in it for back there. Yellow ochre with a little white so it shows up a little better. We'll put some bushes underneath these trees. Just like that. Let's brighten these up a little more. They didn't come out bright enough for me. There we go. Good enough. All right. Let me see where I'm at on time. I got a show today, so I got to hurry. 40 minutes. We just hit the 40-minute mark. Wow. I'm just looking at this for the first time in the frame. It looks awesome. Different. I didn't think it was going to look good with the tree right in the middle, with in the foreground, because I usually run these out here on the sides and the mountains are inside. But this is a little different. I kind of like it. I don't like this peak is kind of pointy, but all right. So now around, if you're going to do this painting and you end up with this around your peaks, what I've been doing, what's good for like if you're just starting out painting, if uh, if you don't know how to make clouds yet, you can do it this way I did here, and then you can run white around the edge of your mountains. Let me get some more white, because it's, you don't want to you could do a whole nice painting like this and then you go to put some clouds in there and you can mess your painting up. So you want to be careful, because we got so much stuff in the sky now. It's kind of hard to fix it with trees up in there. So what I like to do is just take some white right up on the edge of the mountain here. Just pull it up a little bit and then round the top off a little bit. Pull it up and then round the top off. It's a safe way to finish your painting. Or you can just leave the underpaint there if you like that look. And you don't have to wet your brush anymore. We want this paint to go on kind of heavy now. So less water on your brush. Just take your time on this part so you don't mess your mountains up. All right, there we go. So we got some rolling clouds behind the mountains. That looks kind of cool. I like it. I think I'm going to leave the sky like this. I might run a few, whoops, see, that's what I mean about you can't really, you're going to, if you hit your trees now, you're going to get a mess up there. So be careful. I'm gonna try and run some of those clouds where with a knife. Those are fun to do, and they look good. They'll set on top of this stuff. I'll try a few and see how it looks. Grab a knife like this. You just need a little bit of white on your tip, and let's run some of this color into the blue like this, and then back out. Just like that, a little bit of white. We'll run a few streaks in here. Rinse your filbert brush off. If you got a soft one, this is a soft filbert brush. You just make sure it's clean and then come in here and lightly blend. You can lightly blend the one that's in the cloud here. And you can leave this in the blue, leave it alone. You can leave that strong in there. But this stuff in the hazy stuff, just blend it in. Just like that. Okay? Don't overdo it. All right, that's looking pretty good. That's about all I'm going to do. Hopefully you like this one. It's the first time I've done one like this. Put a few birds up here. You can run, don't forget to run some twigs. I'm going to grab some white. Using a liner brush, you got to get the paint to run like ink. And you can make some cool twigs. You could put twigs underneath these bushes if you want, like this, really small. I won't bore you with that. I'll do that when I shut it off. There you go, guys. Hopefully you like that one. I like that one. Looks pretty good. I didn't even finish the trail, but I mean, you can see it's there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and we'll see you on the next video. Ciao.